Hello there folks, my name is Ben and welcome to Shots Fired Airsoft. Now, a little while ago I had a Golden Eagle Hi-capa 5.1 custom series on the channel, and I sold it to my friend John, and John said he was going to convert it for use in IPSC, so essentially competitive target shooting rather than sort of our usual traditional sort of PvP airsoft games. And this requires a little bit of specialisation because accuracy at range becomes less of an issue, because the maximum that they're going to ever be shot at is about 20 metres, and power as well. They don't apply to the same limits because you're not going to be on a field and you're not shooting, other humans essentially. So I thought it would be interesting to get this back on the channel after John's played with it and modified it a bit and see what he did, and also how it actually fires these days. Now, when we originally had this pistol on the channel, it was really quite good. Accuracy wasn't quite there, wasn't particularly consistent, however good power, and it was a nice looking piece. You could have done a few mods to it and it would have been quite a good little piece. So I'm going to get this little bag opened up and we're going to see what his kit is essentially for going and doing his IPSC shooting, which, as I said, is like a sort of competitive target shooting. So it's based on essentially speed, accuracy, and I believe it's real steel capacity as well. So you can't just carry like a full mag of 30 rounds or anything like that. So reloads are important, and that's an important part of this pistol. So without further ado, in this lovely little case we have here, as you can see, we've got a brace of 4 mags, little cleaning and jamming rod, speed loader, and then in this side we have the pistol itself. Now, in a bit of an odd twist, this is actually a hybridized 1911 Hi-capa combo nowadays. So what he did is he removed the standard slide. There was quite a lot of wobble with the standard slide. This one's a lot better. This is an army armament slide. He was going to go with a 1911 match series from TM. However, that I believe he went for the AA because he had to file and he didn't really want to file the TM slide. But so yeah, a slight bit of filing to get the army armament slide onto the Golden Eagle frame. John was happy with the frame, so the frame is very much sort of standardish. The frame on the Golden Eagle was pretty damn good. The only thing he did do, and let's see if I can get this on camera, is he has ported the magwell, because obviously it has a sort of like a tactical magwell on it. However, the interior, I don't know if you can see there, if I get close enough, has actually been beveled. So you don't just have like well, I can show you the picture of what it looked like before on the screen now, just for comparison. And as you can see, this is a lot smoother around the inside. So that's for an easier mag insertion. So this now has a very, you can really smash a mag in there. I'm not even looking, I'm actually looking through the camera doing this. You can just kind of just throw it in there and you're not gonna run into too many issues. It will find its way in. So that is a very nice modification to begin with. The pistol is now essentially red gas only, or at least he uses it on red gas. Essentially what he did is, when he gave me the pistol, he said, I have it set up to run on 30 gram BBs, or 0.3 gram BBs, red gas, and it's set to shoot 20 meters. So that's what we did. I didn't try and push it. It did fire beautifully at range. I didn't touch the hop. However, when I put 2.8s in it rather than 0.3s, it carried out absolutely perfectly, and we easily got over 55 meters with this. So the first thing we're going to do is have a little look at the internals of the pistol. It was lying slightly about the frame. One of the differences with the frame is it has a TM hammer spring in there, because they're actually lighter than the standard Golden Eagle one. So this means that this now has a lighter trigger pull, which it does. I remember the trigger pull on this actually being quite meaty for a Hi-capa. Usually they're very light trigger pulls. This is actually a Garda spring system, I've just realised. So it is actually like an upgrade to the M1. And it's a 120% recoil spring in there. The gun runs an I-key, so essentially a maple leaf I-key setup. So under the hop-up arm there's actually a little load spreader almost that's shaped like a H, or an I in this particular case, so vertical rather than horizontal. And it's working on a 50-degree maple leaf rubber. And the barrel is a 6.01mm stainless barrel, so it's what you would call a power barrel, being a very tight bore. So essentially less pressure can escape around the BB as it's travelling down the bore. So all in all, there's quite a lot of modifications done to this. Obviously the totally different slide, we've got totally different internals in that different slide. Frame relatively standard, just a spring. And altogether it looks like quite a nice little pistol. I also actually quite like the look of it when it's together. The hybridised 1911 Hi-capa look is one that's actually quite cool. Get the simplicity of the 1911 slide, but with the fancy frame of the Golden Eagle. Now, let's move on to the chrono test. Now, because this gun is a specialised setup, I'm not going to be fiddling with anything, so it's pointless putting 2s in it, because the hop is set to hop at 0.3, so it's kind of pointless putting this 0.2 gram in it, because all you're going to see is an unrealistically low approximation of how it fires at 0.2, because of the pressure that the hop's going to put at a 0.2 when it's set for a 0.3, so you're going to wipe like 20-30 FPS off it. So we do go through the chronograph here with 0.3 gram BBs on red gas. Bit of an unusual setup, however 260, 270, that's what you need. The reason this gun runs 0.3 gram BBs is not only is it quite a good idea to run heavier BBs, just in general, you can often get better accuracy and range out of the gun just by going to a heavier BB. Within reason. Obviously this is not going to fire a 4.6 particularly well. That's for like high powered sniper rifles with a long barrel to accelerate the BB. However, we do have a very respectable performance, and the 0.3 going through the chrono at 260, 270-ish is around 330 FPS. So we're quite strong, no lack of power, and as I was just saying, sorry, got sidetracked. The 0.3 gram BB is because at IPSC they use quite thick cardboard targets, and the BB needs to make a clear hit, so it goes through the cardboard. So they run 0.3 gram BBs in order to punch that cardboard through and get out the other side, so it's a clear and obvious hit. For the firing test, we are doing my usual sort of 80 metre range. It's close enough to 20, and that's what we throw. I do fire a couple of rounds up to see what the hop acts like at range, and it does fire beautifully, but you'll see that in the video. So here we go. I'm going to hand over now to past Ben, and he's going to do the firing test. So without further ado, we're into the shooting test we go. Okay guys, as we said, we're on red gas from 20 metres, well 18 metres, but that is what this pistol is designed to be accurate over, or built to be accurate over. These are the first shots that I've ever fired out of it, so if it's shit, it's probably me. Okie dokie, let's see what we get. What have I got left in the mag? I'll fire these off and then we'll gas the mag up and have another shoot, because that's me being terrible. This gun has quite a kick. And we're out of rounds. The gun obviously won't lock back because we're running a very short stroke, as you would expect. And I'm a bit all over the place, but that is me, not the gun. We've got a few nice hits. I had about 3 or 4 in a row here, just bouncing off the bullseye, which is nice. But you can see what we mean about running like 0.3s with these, all leaving very good indentations on these paper targets. Normally the lighter BBs will knock the the coating off, and they may go through occasionally, but pretty much every shot has punched a nice indentation into that target there. Okay guys, this is the second attempt with the Golden Eagle IPSC. Now, I'm not going to adjust the hop or anything in this weapon. It's not down to me to mess with John's settings on his weapon. If I just fire one up, there's no one around at the moment. It does fire beautifully at range. We're actually slightly over gassed, I think, but we should be able to get enough to get a few good shots on target. That's that mag out. It does make it through mags very cleanly. Obviously it's on red gas, so you probably expect it to do that. Got to say, we're building up a nice grouping. I'd no doubt that John would be superior with this weapon in his hands. However, we have a lovely little grouping just down there. I'm not so upset with how that's shooting. I'm learning the gun a bit more, learning how to control its recoil. He gave me 4 mags with it, so I'm going to switch to another mag because that one's getting a bit chill. So the chrono and all those test shots have been done on the same mag. So I'm going to gas up a new one, we'll do one more shooting test, and then that'll be it for the day. And we'll go and have a little chat about it back on the bench. Okay guys, this is going to be the last test shoot. I've now run through the 0.3 grams BBs that John gave me with the weapon. So it's going to be a last little run through the mag. I can't see if we can't get a bit more consistent on that. This is more about me training myself to use the gun, because you can see from that last shooting test I am getting better, and the weapon is capable of consistently hitting where you're aiming. There we are. Yep. So that last mag, absolutely the best. We had a couple of flyers. That was me letting the gun get away from me. However, this is one of the better looking target shoots that we've had on the channel, as you would probably expect, with plenty of shots inside those sort of 2 or 3 rings. Yeah, very nice performance from, well, kind of what you'd expect from a modified gun built by someone who sort of knows what they're doing, even if it's being fired by someone who doesn't. So that's great. Back to the bench. Okay, so back on the bench. There's something I want to put out there immediately. I didn't really mention it at the time. You'll have heard my grumblings about being crap at firing pistols. I struggled with this a bit because it's got a very heavy kick, and I must admit, like I said in the past, I'm not the best pistol target shooter. The thing with the like pistol target shooting is it's kind of about taking your time, getting lined up and getting ready for the kick. This has a very strong kick, especially on the red gas. So it's difficult kind of holding a 0 and firing relatively quickly. The fact that this thing was able to stay in the inner 2 or 3 rings was quite impressive. The other thing is this is very accurate and very sort of consistent with how it fires, which is the aim of the I-key and the maple leaf hop rubber, etc, etc. So one of the things that does happen is that any firing errors on my part, like me, translates into bad accuracy, essentially. So if you can keep this thing on target, it will hit the target. Me, when I'm firing it, I'm pulling it off course. When I'm pulling the trigger, I am firing too quick and the recoil hasn't, the kick hasn't left it, essentially, so the barrel's not quite lined up where it should be. That explains a lot of those weird and off shots. But you can see from the first to the third firing test, I gradually got better with it and more sort of used to firing it. And if I had half a day with it, I'm pretty certain I could pin that bullseye pretty much every time that I wanted to. But all in all, very, very impressive, essentially modification of the Golden Eagle pistol that we had before. The pistol, as it was okay. Accuracy was, it could get on the paper target. It didn't really go where he shot it, but it was only ever off by a few inches at 20 meters. I think if you'd gone out to 30, 50 metres like we've done before, you'd be struggling to hit anything out of that distance, although I do think it would range. This would get out there and tap those targets no problem, so a vast improvement over the stock weapon. And I would just like to say thank you to John for lending me his kit, and yeah, it's very interesting to see what he does with these pistols, because they always come back better. Always come back better. So, I've been Ben. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to John for supplying the pistol, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you very much, and goodbye.